Welcome to The Actual Story, the official podcast of the National Agricultural Communicators of Tomorrow. I'm your host, Lydia Hill, and I, along with the rest of the National Officer team, are here to share the voices, ideas, and stories shaping the future of agriculture and communications. Whether you're a student, professional, or simply passionate about the industry, this is your place to connect, learn, and be inspired. So without further ado, let's dive into today's actual story. All right, well, thank you both for getting on here. Today we have Ms. Pam Caraway and Courtney Girgis with the Ag Communicators Network. If both of you would just like to give a little bit of background about yourself, and we can start with Ms. Courtney.
Well, hello everyone, and thanks for having us here. My name is Courtney Girgis, and I am a freelance writer based in Oklahoma. Grew up on a farm in Missouri and now living here in Oklahoma, and I write for publications like Successful Farming, and I have a conservation, farmer-driven organization as well that I write for under the name Rooted Communications. And yeah, that's it for me now.
Very cool. What about you, Ms. Pam?
I am the editor, the executive editor for Farm Futures magazine. It's one of the Farm Progress Company magazines, and we are focused on covering farm business from the business side of things. We cover commodity markets, ag policy, farm management, transition planning, all of the issues that go along with creating a business and then hanging on to a business so you can pass it on to the next generation. I've been in ag communications on several sides of ag communications for 30 some years as a journalist, as a public relations practitioner, as a marketer, and worked for agencies and media companies and for the manufacturing side.
That's awesome. You both have lots of experience in the ag com industry, and I kind of wanted to get you guys on here because of your positions of leadership with the Ag Communicators Network. And so, if you guys would just like to describe how you ended up in this role and what you enjoy about it.
Go ahead, Courtney.
Yeah, so talking about Ag Media Summit, my real introduction to Ag Communicators Network was through an internship that I had with Marilyn Cummins, and she was doing the awards programs for ACN, AEEA at the time. And that brought me to Ag Media Summit for the first time in 2012. And I was just absolutely hooked by the energy. Working for the contest, I got to read so many awesome articles, and it fueled. I love telling stories. I love helping farmers tell their stories, and wanted to be part of this really cool group with really talented people. And then my junior year, I interviewed for the Dr. James Evans Scholarship. I did not get it the first year, but I had the best conversation with some ACN folks and who I still today consider some of my greatest mentors. And we just had this conversation. It just felt very real. We very much connected. Um, they encouraged me to apply again the next year, and I did win the scholarship that year. And but more than anything, that scholarship program to me was all about the connections that I made, and the encouragement in continuing in the industry. And so I was later, about probably 3 or 4 years ago, I was invited to help lead that committee that organizes the scholarships. So that's how I got my start in the leadership. Part of it was giving back, and part of it's just I just love the connections that are to be made in ACN.
Yes, connections
Yeah.
are always the main topic for this podcast. It comes up every single time, and we're definitely going to circle back to the James Evans Scholarship here in a little bit. And can you remind us what is your official title with ACN?
I'm a board member, and I am a co-chair of the Future Ag Communicators Committee. So we're the ones that really communicate a lot with you all as students and your advisors, and other college faculty to try to share information back and forth between the professional side and the student side.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that clarification. And Miss Pam, you give it a go.
Yeah, so I didn't get involved with ag editors back in the day as much as I wanted to. I came into ag later, and I had a young child at home, and so I came to be more involved later, and but maintained my connection to AAEA and then ACN through attending AMS largely and participating in the awards program. And now I am the past president this year, and I am the chair for the Ag Media Summit Steering Committee. And it's funny, Courtney mentioned Marilyn. Marilyn and one of her agency partners, Jamie Cole, are our communications agency this year. So we've come full circle, and they're back to being involved with Ag Media Summit. Somehow that seems to always happen. That those connections that you make early on, we stick around, and we like to keep people around. We don't let people retire really.
Yeah, that's great. And we keep hearing this word or this phrase, Ag Media Summit. Can you guys describe what Ag Media Summit is?
Sure. So Ag Media Summit is a partnership between the Livestock Publications Council and ACN to put on a professional development program designed to provide to help people elevate their skills in that networking that we talked about before, but elevate your skills across the broad spectrum of agricultural communication. So whether you work for an agency, you work for a checkoff organization, or you're a journalist, at any part of ag communications that you're involved in, you can come to Ag Media Summit and level up on your skills.
Very cool. And with ACN and LPC, the Livestock Publications Council, I know both of those offer student memberships.
Mhm.
But my first experience at Ag Media Summit was actually last year, and I came like mainly as a national ACT member. And
Mhm.
can you kind of inform the listeners what the benefits are of a Ag Communications student, or really anyone in general interested in attending AMSR?
Go ahead, Courtney. Courtney does
Yeah.
more of the student part of it.
So I think it's really important, like Pam mentioned, the Ag Media Summit is it's a joint meeting professional development organization of multiple separate organizations. So, as a student and as an ACT member specifically, you've got your own specific programming where you can really connect to and bond with and get to learn alongside students and find out what's going on in universities across the country, which that in itself is an awesome thing. And then, add to that, you also get to participate in the same professional development conference workshops, sessions, large scale events that the professionals are attending as ACN members or LPC members. You'll notice some separate activities going on as far as each organization has its own awards contests. But then otherwise, we're all learning together. And as a student, this is a really great opportunity to meet people, to talk to professionals who are doing something that you may want to do in the future. Just get to know them, ask them questions. Professionals, I say this all the time, but professionals really love to talk to students, and they are at your full disposal there. You have their attention there. So it's a great place to learn, but it's also a great place to meet people.
Yes, most definitely. And I'm really glad that you brought up PDC because I have heard before, well, I went to PDC in January, like why do I need to go to another conference? But you hit the differences like right on the head. And coming from that student perspectives, I really like getting to see the other universities and like learning with just students and hearing from professionals speak in different breakout sessions at PDC. The Ag Media Summit definitely does have a different feel to it because even though we're still in college, it kind of does feel like we're on the same playing field as the professionals there because, like you said, we're learning right alongside each other. And we get to meet some really awesome people. And like one of my best experiences was sitting at a table with someone who, like, I remember he said he was working in Mexico and like the little networking event, like on one of the first days, he worked in Mexico and like was telling me all about that. And just like getting to have those conversations with someone at AMS was extremely rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a super high pressure to talk to someone about a specific project. You just get to talk about, we all love to communicate. So we love agriculture and we get to connect on that at all levels.
Yeah,
One of
for
the
sure.
other benefits, oh, sorry.
Oh, you go ahead. You're good.
I was just thinking moving forward, if you come as a student and then move into being a member of ACN as a professional following graduation, then we have all sorts of young leader programs and young communicator programs. And so you've already met some of the people that are helping to run those. I was on the scholarship judging for Courtney a few years ago, and now the students who were participating in the competition then are attending as young professionals now. And so I've gotten to watch their career. You find that members of ACN and I'm sure LPC too are become invested in your success because they've seen you grow and they want to help you and support you in doing that.
Yes, I'm really glad you mentioned that because I hear from people who have freshly graduated college that they feel like they've kind of lost their place because they don't have those club meetings to go to and conferences to go to anymore. So I think having programs like that for those who have just graduated college and are still trying to stay plugged into a community with similar interests as them, I absolutely love that, and I will definitely be utilizing that once I graduate as well.
Yeah,
Sure. And oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if there are students here that are about to graduate and are hearing this and they feel like the time is coming where there's a transition to be made and I don't want to lose this community, have them reach out to us because we'd love to get them plugged in so they don't have to feel that disconnect.
Absolutely. And when you get involved in ACN and stay involved, one of the other benefits, in addition to being a member of ACN, is we are the U.S. Guild for the International Forum of Agricultural Journalists. And so that opens up some opportunities. When you mentioned Mexico earlier, Emma, I just got back from a trip to Brazil for the IFHA executive meeting for the spring. Every year we have a Congress in a different country in the world. And through our charitable organization, the Professional Improvement Foundation, referred to as PIF, we offer some stipends. You can compete for stipends to help attend those meetings. And the opportunity, I mean, we talk about the network that you get from attending AMS, but the network that you get from attending IFAJ is global. I was there with journalists from 22 other countries. So you have contacts everywhere because you're a member of ACN.
Yes,
Yeah,
and go ahead, Courtney.
Sorry.
I was just gonna add to that. I had an English journalist reach out to me recently that I had met on one of the IFAJ meetings asking, for sources. So that you really do, once you meet those folks, you really do have opportunities to stay in touch and help tell the ag story even better.
Yeah, Courtney and I were in Switzerland together, and I apologize, Lydia. You have Emma on the screen, and so
It's okay.
I knew the invitation had come from Lydia.
That's okay. Pam, is it too early for you to give a little sneak peek of like maybe what some of the topics of the breakout sessions are going to look like this year?
Absolutely not. We are going to open registration on April 15th. We are winding down on nailing down all of our speakers in our program in our tour. So the conference this year is July 19th to the 21st in, is that right? 19, oh heck, now I got to double check it. Is it 19 to 21? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
July 19th to the 21st in St. Louis. We are at the Hyatt at the Arch, and we are leaning into AI. So, in addition, we'll have plenty of other sessions too. But when you were talking about those real conversations, we're giving AI a little different definition. We are authentically intelligent. We are a whole list of different AI, how we lean into what we do, because as ag communicators, we bring the humanity to all the communications. We bring that human element that is so essential when we talk about storytelling. So we will have speakers on storytelling. We will have speakers on telling agriculture story, how we bring that from the farm gate to the table, how producers are involved in that, how they can benefit from that. And then we've got, we always have a video or a photo session. We have a podcast session. We have a session on broadening your audience. So how can you speak to that wider audience? We have just run the gamut. We're going to have some hands-on for how you use some of the platforms, nuts and bolts kind of sessions. Instead of pie in the sky, you will walk out with some new skills, some opportunity to improve your skills. And then the day after the conference, we have a post tour that will include visits to the port. I believe lunch is going to be at Anheuser-Busch, which happens to be in St. Louis. And we have opportunities to see what happens to those crops after they're taken off the farm and shipped off, and the difference that American farmers make in the global supply of grain, particularly. We have a visit, likely, it's still being confirmed, to a dairy farm. And then we will end the day on farm for dinner.
That is awesome. I'm so excited. I've been anxiously anticipating. I was actually like kind of taking a peek at what flights would look like today, but I'm really excited about the hands-on stuff
Yes.
and like getting to learn the different platforms and software and stuff like that. Because we take classes about that in school, but you can never have enough practice. And I'm still probably extremely illiterate at anything in Adobe because you just have to get in and work on it.
Mhm.
So maybe getting like another perspective and getting a teacher from
Yeah.
like a different perspective, like that would be so awesome. And you're definitely going to catch me in the podcast session.
Fabulous. Yeah, we have people who are doing the job. And I know one of the sessions too. So like we've said before, it's from whatever angle you're coming at. If you want to go into public relations, if you want to be a copywriter, if you whatever you want to do from ag communications, we have a session again this year. Courtney was instrumental in those conversations last year, I believe, for freelancers. How do you figure out how to charge? How do you run a business? How do you do those things? So we look at our membership in all of the areas that they participate in and try to make sure that there is something for everybody particular to their corner of our industry.
Yes, that is awesome. And I'm so excited. And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to take a minute to talk about what National ACT does at
Sure.
AMS, just so the members know. I remember last year, the first day we got there, National ACT had just like a little like get to know the officers and what to expect for AMS, and I had a really good time there. We did a few activities and they like forced us to get away from people we knew and put us into groups, and that kind of started the networking for me there. And then that night, all of AMS had an event at Topgolf, and I had the best time. That was so much fun. But National ACT also has our second business meeting of the year there. So this is when we'll give out awards for critiquing contest, chapter of the year, and like all the different of the year awards. And then finally, the new national officer team will be elected. It's a lot of fun. And besides that, like we attend all the other stuff that everybody else goes to and all the sessions.
Sure. And the ACT luncheon is well attended, and everybody is there to help cheer you on.
Yes, and we're very excited for that again this year. I actually just opened up the applications for our of the year awards. So all those links are freshly updated on our website. I sent an email about it a week or two ago, and I'll be sending another one out beginning of April too. But we'd love for you guys to submit and nominate your chapter or advisor or a student or a professional who's just really doing a really great job in the communications field right now. We had some really good winners last year, and I'm looking forward to sorting through the applications this year as well.
Sure. And any of your members who are student members of ACN are eligible to compete in our awards program. So as you've been out doing internships, you may have some articles you're particularly proud of, or podcasts, or it runs the gamut. I think we have 11 categories now. Do you know, Courtney? I believe it's 11. Um, and so you can participate in that program as well.
Yes. Speaking of
Yeah,
awards, I'm sorry. I was going to ask you to circle back to the James Evans Scholarship as well.
yeah, yeah. Well, I want to add one thing to the award, the contest. Even as a student, one of the greatest values of the awards contest is the feedback that you can get. So you can submit your piece in the ACT's critiquing contest and ACN's contest and get two sets of feedback. So that's another advantage. But yes, the scholarships. ACN through a endowment by Lyle Orwig, who's an ACN member, and also through our PIF, which is the Professional Improvement Foundation. We are offering 3 scholarships this year. So by the time this comes out, those finalists will be selected. There'll be 3 finalists. They'll each get $1,000, up to $1,000 to help them travel to and attend Ag Media Summit, which is where we'll have our interviews for the top award, which is the Dr. James Evans Scholarship. So that top award is $3,000. And then the other 2 finalists will each receive $2,000. So we're very excited to be able to award those scholarships again. Like I mentioned, the highlight of my year is that interview, just getting to talk to you all, to, brightest and best. And it's a nice little help toward your college, I think. And so if you didn't apply this year, please apply next year. As long as you were an undergraduate student, you can apply for that. And you have to be a member of ACT as well.
Yes. And does that close? When does the application close for that?
The application for this year will close April 15th.
All right, sure thing. And I can definitely put that information in the bio as well. I think I threw in an application pretty last minute last year, but gonna go into a little bit more detail this year for sure. But even just like $1,000 is so helpful for a student with travels. So I highly recommend it. And I know the top 3 participants last year, they were all really great people, and looking forward to see who's recognized this year as well. Another award to keep in mind, and the application has already closed for this, but Live or LPC's Forest Bassford Award is really good as well, and that will be awarded at AMS. So those open kind of like end of the year, and this year they closed in February, but I highly recommend, like, if you're applying for all these other awards, definitely apply for that one too.
Definitely apply. And I will say we get a relatively small number of applicants, but they are incredibly outstanding. And it is difficult every year to choose who's going to be those top 3 finalists. And a couple of years ago, we had gone to 2 scholarships, and we're so thankful to PIF for helping us bring back 3. And then as you read the applications, you're like, could we do more someday? But we're very thankful for that 3.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything else that you guys would like to touch on for AMS specifically? And if not, I'd just like to ask you for some advice or kind of your hot takes of people who've been in the industry for a while, like talking to those of us who are close to graduating or freshly graduated.
Well, I was kind of thinking of some tips for students as they were thinking about attending Ag Media Summit and how they could make the most of it.
Yeah, by all
We
means,
talked
go ahead.
about, yeah, how there's lots of different people you'll meet, and you talked about talking to people at different tables. I, encourage people to sit at different tables at every meal. Those meals are really great places to talk to people, and to make meaningful connections in a relatively uh, low effort way, eating a meal together. That's the best way to meet people, right? Um, in the past, Pam, maybe you can say if they're doing this again this year, but in the past, there's been a list released before Ag Media Summit of who all's planning to attend. And I always find that super useful to help me figure out, oh, I met this person last year. I want to try to say hi to them again this year. Or maybe there's a particular type of communications that you're interested in the future. If you happen to see them, you can just be prepared. Um, and then we also all wear name tags and have a little bit of uh, you can say what organization you're a member of, if you're a leader on those members, and just be aware that I'm sure anybody would like to talk to you, but especially those folks who have board roles would definitely love to talk to you. So don't be afraid to stop someone and talk.
Absolutely. So, and I would add, we have an info expo, which is where our sponsors have tables, and we have dessert time in there. We have breaks in there. And so go in there and speak to all of them. All of the companies have communicators. So if you're interested in going to the corporate side of the business, or just to make that connection again, there'll be agency folks will be in there at a lot of those tables, and the corporate representatives themselves are often there, and they certainly are interested in talking to you. Additionally, you mentioned we call it the famous welcome party. It will be on site this year uh, at the Hyatt Regency. They have a nice space for us to be together, and you get to meet tons of people there, and there will be people who want to meet you, and they'll come up to you because you're a student. So have your business cards with you, whether that's digital or printed, and people will be ready. And after you leave, hit us up on LinkedIn, ask to connect, follow up on that connection so that we start seeing your posts, you start seeing ours. And when you're looking to come to a company, maybe you discover that somebody you know. So you can get a little in there. For AMS itself, I mentioned earlier, registrations opens on April 15th. There is a student rate. This year, we have 2 times when the rates will go up. So I recommend registering early. Not like voting, not, vote early and often, but just register early. And then watch for that agenda, look for what you want to participate in, and watch for that list that Courtney mentioned, because it will be available so you can spot, kind of target who you really want to talk to and make sure you find them while you're there.
Yes, I'd love to talk about that list because I'm an extremely type A person and extremely organized. And every like school trip that my school goes on and I'm there, like I'm the one who creates a detailed Google Doc of what we're doing, where we're going, the times, the dress codes, and I share to everybody going. But when I
Sure.
discovered a list and I knew I was running for national office, I really utilized that list um, to get to know like what national ACT members and what schools were going to be there. And I connected with them on LinkedIn, but also just seeing if I knew any familiar companies or organizations, people from like where I'm from. And when I saw that NC State was going to be there, I got really excited and I got to meet them in person there as well. So I definitely would take the time to take advantage of that list because it's extremely helpful. And even now, like I would go back and look at the 2025 list if like I'm forgetting someone's name or company that they're with. It's extremely useful. And not many, I don't think I've ever been to a conference where they do that before. So that's really awesome that you guys do that. And with the Info Expo, I really enjoyed that as well. I remember Modern Litho had like a little booth where it's like, what superhero are you? And like you like spun a wheel or something like that. I still have the little card right that I was like professor something, but it was so funny. Um, and on business cards, I know, like, as a student, you're thinking, why do I need a business card when I don't work for anyone yet and I don't have like a full-time job? But make business cards. And when I like whip mine out and hand them people, even here in DC, people are so shocked, like, oh my gosh, you have a business card. And I think of it as, well, it's better than carrying around paper copies of my resume. So even if that business card just has like name, contact info, like maybe your LinkedIn, I'm thinking about putting the QR code to my online portfolio on there. Just something that says like a little bit about who you are and like help somebody jog their memory. Like it's going to be super beneficial in the long run.
It is. And I still
Absolutely.
remember many years ago, I was working at Beta Rudder on what was then the Dow account, now Corteva. And one of the other ladies from Dow came and ran me down because she said there was a student at the booth who wanted to particularly meet somebody who worked at Beta Rudder. So she quizzed me pretty hard. She had all of the questions about how to get in and how to go to work at Beta Rudder, one of the top ag agencies in the country.
Yeah. I think that's all I personally have for AMS. Do you guys have anything else?
We hope to see you there. Bring your authentic self and come join us.
Yeah. And come say hi.
I think the hardest part is walking up and saying hi. I'm sure Wyatt, our vice president, would say completely otherwise. He's the networking king and he knows absolutely everybody. But for the average college student, like it is a little bit intimidating, like walking up to somebody and, saying like, hey, like I'm in college and these people have been like professional for like 20 years and they know what they're doing and we don't. But from my experience, everybody has been super nice and they definitely do want to talk to the students more than they do want to their colleagues.
I can definitely relate to that. Like I said, my first Ag Media Summit, I was a student, I was a sophomore. Well, actually, I had just finished my freshman year, and I am naturally an introvert, very shy, very nervous to meet people, but also love the connections. And I will say it's hard. And every year it gets a little bit easier because you've met that person. So if you're looking for people to meet that can help maybe make it things a little bit easier, I'm happy to volunteer. I'm sure others would as well, but just come find us and say hello and what you're interested in. And then when we spot you around, we can maybe kind of help introduce you to folks that you might like to visit with.
Sure. And like that student long ago, just ask somebody.
Hmm.
I'm looking to meet somebody with this company. I'm looking to meet somebody who has this kind of a role, and we'll find them for you.
Wow. It's a close-knit community. People know people. So just ask a person and you'll find another two or three people.
That's how it works. I say absolutely a lot.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's all I have for right now. And you guys did such a great job of just hyping up AMS and really getting into detail about the benefits of attending. And I was super excited to go last year. I'm even more excited to go this year, kind of having a different role there and getting to be a part of National ACT's business meeting. But if anybody who's listening has any questions, feel free to reach out to me, the rest of the national officer team, or I'll definitely link the ACN's information in the bio as well, so you guys can go take a peek at the website and see like how everything worked last year. Like even there's even still pictures up from last year you can look at as well. And yeah, but thank you guys so much for hopping on. It was great to chat with you for a little bit.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you.
for having us. We absolutely delight in our student attendees at AMS and look forward to seeing everybody there again this year.
Very much
Yes,
so.
ma'am. Thanks for tuning in to The Actual Story. Be sure to subscribe and share so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep telling agriculture's actual story.